We've thought of one thing: what's best for the franchise? And you're right. When we went to the March meeting, frankly, I had no idea whether I'd be sitting here talking to you today. I obviously have no idea if I'll be sitting here talking to you next year. I know you're going to be where you are next year, but whether we're here or not, we don't know that.
Well, thank you for talking to my boss about that, Charlie, and ensuring that. And you make moves like this, I think you should be there for a long time. Congratulations on what's doing right. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Charlie Casserly, business as usual. That's what he had to do. Culpepper, McNown, McAllister, names we shall be hearing very quickly. Charlie was great.
We're not trying to be the biggest caterer in town. We're trying to be the best. Quality matters. I don't want a truckload account. I don't want to waste time standing in line. I got a business to run.
At Smart & Final, there's no tires, no TVs, no membership fees. Just your favorite food service products. Great prices. Meats, produce, bakery, beverages, and people who know how to take care of business.
Smart & Final. It's our secret sauce.
Smart & Final.
Where the pros go.
You've heard about an amazing new place to live. A new way to live. Remarkably, it's all true. With such excitement in the air, why not discover Anthem for yourself?
To win a trip to the Brickyard 400 and drive the race parade car home? Here's how. Just follow Steve Park and enter the ESPN Drive at Home sweepstakes, presented by Pennzoil. Watch the Goodies Body Paint 500 on ESPN. Note the Pennzoil car's starting and finishing position. Then call 1-800-581-3600 or stop by a participating Pennzoil Lube Center and fill out an entry form. You could win a trip to the Brickyard 400 and take home the race parade car or other great prizes.
Well, a lot of fans in Detroit have been cursing the fate of the Detroit Lions, but this may be a different sort of curse. Let's go up to the commissioner and see if that is indeed their pick.
With the 9th pick in this draft, the Detroit Lions select Chris Claiborne, linebacker, USC.
Well, that makes sense, too. That makes sense, too, Mel.
Well, I'll tell you what, Chris, I look at Chris Claiborne, talking about value at this point.
Yep.
I mean, he's the best linebacker on the board.
Yep.
I think when you look at, say, middle linebacker at USC, the last 3 years, that's true. But he has the athleticism and the overall physical ability for playing outside linebacker spot as well. Here, the pursuit ability, hits hard, delivers quite a jolt on impact when he arrives on the scene. You watch him here. Take on that guard in the hole, stuff that inside running game lane, and here again, delivers quite a shot. You watch him here. Get through traffic, stay on his feet, and take down Travis Minor. Watch him here coming up against Arizona State. Ryan Keeley delivers the blow. Sends Keeley to the sidelines. You're talking about a multi-dimensional linebacker in the lane again. Inside running lane ability. Here, the INT all the way for the touchdown. Again, in pass coverage against Oregon State. The INT all the way for a touchdown once again. You're looking at a kid who intercepted 6 passes this past year. Will be able to move outside fairly easily. And I think at this point in the draft, the Detroit Lions have to be fairly surprised that an athlete that was rated so high all year, like a Chris Claiborne, is still on the board.
Yeah, I mean, when you say 6 interceptions as an inside linebacker,
right,
not an outside linebacker normally in coverage. And, you know, you look at USC linebackers that wore number 55. Junior Seau was great. Willie McGinnis had a great college career. Well, certainly, Chris Claiborne did nothing to disgrace that number. In fact, by pure numbers, he added to it, except in the sack total. But 8 INTs total as a 3-year player at USC. And, Joe, you know, we said curse. I was trying to be cute with Javon Curse, but this is a guy that probably grades out a little higher than Curse, because Curse is a tweener guy.
Oh, we talked about Ricky Williams being the best player in the draft, probably, as we felt, the best running back. Claiborne certainly is up there as the best linebacker. You have to remember, Detroit ran short on the field with defensive people last year. They needed that side of the ball. They just signed Stephen Boyd to a new contract to play the middle. I would see Claiborne probably playing outside. He will be able to give you some pass rushing ability. Larry Peccatello likes to bring people. He likes to put pressure on the quarterback, their defensive coordinator. I think this gives Larry a little bit more flexibility flexibility in what he wants to do on the defensive side of the ball. They probably will be able to pick up a defensive end or defensive tackle down the road a little bit, so they'll be able to get what they want as the draft moves on. But this is a good pick for him now.
Well, let's go quickly to Cleveland, because now Baltimore, Minnesota, Chicago are on the clock. And let us just say that all three of those spots are potential homes for the two next quarterbacks, Culpepper and McNown. But Sal, let's go to you at Cleveland. What's brewing?
Well, what's brewing in Baltimore with the Baltimore Ravens, I talked to the Director of Football Operations, Ozzie Newsome, a few minutes ago, and he said his phone has been ringing off the hook. He went down the list: Denver, Miami, Tennessee, Dallas, all trying to jump up to number 10. Apparently, Anthony McFarland is in the sights of Mike Shanahan in Denver, so we'll keep an eye. He said he'd like to stay at number 10, and, you know, Javon Curse is still there, the Florida linebacker, but they are really strong at linebacker. Chris McAllister is one that's very intriguing, the cornerback out of Arizona. Ozzie Newsome likes him very much. Now let's go to Chris Mortensen in New York.
Yeah, so I think that the Ravens and Ozzie Newsome and Brian Billick even are doing cartwheels that Chris McAllister is here. I know that they had some discussions with Detroit even about swapping, but the drama there was Minnesota calling Detroit and the Lions refusing the trade with inside their division. That would have been for McAllister, so Baltimore really happy that he's here there. And then, of course, now McAllister goes, and we are looking at this Dante Culpepper scenario and Cade McNown. Chris Berman, as you mentioned a little bit earlier, but I know this much: Baltimore very happy McAllister is there.
Yeah, there's no question about that, Mort. And Mel, I mean, for pure value, McAllister, we said Champ Bailey was kind of like a Deion Sanders. Some say Chris McAllister is like a Ronnie Lott in the way he's going to play. But, you know, you also have the quarterback question. Baltimore has Scott Mitchell and maybe soon to be signed Tony Banks, the quarterback. Should they look at a young quarterback with an offensive coach like Billick, or should they go best available?
Let's see what the value is in terms of the draft board, Chris. I think when you look at that, you will see Chris McAllister highly rated on the draft board. The number one player right now available on the draft board, according to my ratings, John Tate. You see the other players available, Anthony McFarland, the teams are looking to move up for, but the quarterbacks are down the line a bit. I know they're thinking, hey, quarterback of the future, Dante Culpepper, but they did not feel that McAllister would still be there at that point. So he would become a nice pick at that point. You see the offensive tackles, center guard Damian Woody, and of course Andy Katzenmoyer, the big cat. But in Baltimore, you have Dwayne Starks. They drafted him 10th overall last year, a smallish corner. Rod Woodson on the other side, a veteran. They want to move him inside the safety, so they will have a hole at corner. McAllister 6'1", 206, opposite Starks. Now you have your bookend corners. Woodson moves inside. They hope Ken Herring can stay healthy. All of a sudden, that secondary is 100% improved.
Baltimore, Minnesota, Chicago are the next three teams on the clock. And the Ravens, is the card in? Is that what we understand? Well, the quarterback situation, Joe, is something. I mean, Brian Billick, offensive guru, new head coach. Should he look QB here for the future?
I don't think he has to look QB. If he wants to look QB, you're going to get a guy who's gone through the mill in Tony Banks, who he's entertained the last week or so. You've got Eric Zier, who's talked about being traded, Wally Richardson, Kendrick Nord. You know, the guys you don't know, really. Scott Mitchell, who is sort of recycled and looking for an opportunity to play again, and probably will be given the chance to start there. If they do sign a Tony Banks, you get this guy who has really struggled in St. Louis only because he's been through a lot of coordinators, a lot of offensive changes. I think you don't need to go shop for a quarterback here. I think cornerbacks are just as valuable at this spot.
Let's go up to the podium now and join the commissioner so he can quote the Ravens.
With the 10th pick in the draft, the Baltimore Ravens select Chris McAllister, defensive back, Arizona. Minnesota Vikings are now on clock.
Hard hitter, Mel.
And what? He just glides, Chris. He's so effortless in his motion, and he's 6'1", 206 pounds. Watch him here. The way he breaks up the play, closes on the football again. Effortless in his glide. Senses what's going on, and has that burst and that anticipation in coverage. Here on the deep play, interception on the deep ball against Nebraska. Here, a kick return. This is in the season opener on ESPN against Hawaii. And he's going to take it all the way. Opening kickoff, he goes 100 yards. Here's a punt returner. again, showing his athleticism. Look at this kid. He's 6'1", 206 with tremendous speed. Another anticipation, interception, reacts to the football, and makes the big play. Great players make the great plays. Chris McAllister had all those interceptions. 6 as a junior, 5 as a senior, 2 more in the Holiday Bowl against Nebraska. And I think that's the difference in McAllister. 2 years at Arizona, but he made the most of every opportunity, Joe.
Yeah, you brought up the depth chart. When you take a look at where they are in the secondary, when I talked to Brian Billick, he said, you know, if we can get a marquee corner, our line